So one of the favorite things, we got to get the plug kit out because I've got I don't know if it's wire or what is in my tire, but I've got something in my tire. So we're out in the field, so we're gonna kind of run through how to repair a tire out in the field. So hopefully this video will help somebody, and hopefully it's interesting. All right, guys, so we're out in the field right now, and if you can see that right there, I have now got, I'm not sure what it is, but now I've got something in my tire. It was this, it shoved through, I didn't even see it in the grass, but I've already cut it to where it's a smaller sticking out of the tire right now. It did go all the way through, and I know on the sidewall you're not supposed to plug them, but you can get out of it to get out of a bind and kind of get you through a yard. So I have a small plug kit that I keep. I got some pliers, and then I've got a small air compressor that I'll hook up to the truck and pump my tire back up. But basically what we're gonna do is take one of these plugs, stick it through the hole right here, use that to kind of clean the hole out, and we'll plug it and hope it holds to help me finish out the day until I can swap a tire out of it. I do have a spare 60 on the trailer, so if something does happen and I can't use this one, I'll just swap to that 60 and use it. But while it's on the trailer and stuff, I don't want the tire to go down. I don't want it to be riding on the rim and completely bust the tire. If there's a chance when I get home I can patch this a little better, but most of the time I've done it before in the sidewalls and they hold pretty well, so we're gonna do it and see what happens. All right, so we're gonna pull this out. I've got it stuck through. So this kit comes with air gauge, some rubber cement, a couple valve covers, a tool to take out the valve stems, a couple of some other radial patches, that kind of stuff. It's not a very fancy one, but it gets me out of a bind. So we're gonna start. I'm gonna put the cement on the plug, and then we'll pull that out. All right, so let's get pulling. So if you can hear it coming out. So we gotta clean it first. All right, guys, so we've got it cleaned out. Now we're gonna stick the patch in it. All right, so we've got it plugged. I don't hear any air. The cement's not doing anything. It's not bubbling, so it must have taken. So we'll fill the tire back up and see if it holds. That's what was left in the tire. So it was pretty deep in there. I didn't expect it to be that deep, but it was pretty deep in there. So guys, it's just a real small air compressor. It works right off of the cigarette lighter in the truck. So it's not anything fancy, but it'll get you out of a bind for sure. So it didn't lose a ton of air, so I'm not expecting it. This air gauge came in the kit. I'll show the kit a little bit later, but I'm gonna check and see what's in it right now. There's about 10 pounds. Also, we have Fix-A-Flat in the tires, so I'm hoping between the patch and the Fix-A-Flat that it'll keep it pretty plugged. Yeah, so I've tried it a couple times and it's about 10. So we're gonna screw the end of this on and we'll get it. It just screws on right like that. This thing has been a lifesaver for a few times. So we're gonna go ahead and turn this on. So one thing that I like about this is it's got a semi-correct PSI reader on here. So it goes by 30, so 0, 30, 60, 90. So you can get pretty close with this and then double check it with a gauge, and normally this gets pretty close. All right, guys, so it's been a couple minutes. and so we started at 10, and we're gonna double check it and see what we got. So it's a little high, but that's all right for right now, because that way then if it does leak a little bit of air, I am going to take a smidge out of that, but then at least if it does leak a little bit of air, that way it'll stay about 20 where it's supposed to be. So still just a touch high, but so that's basically what I ran into today. So as you can see, we got some cement on it and we got it plugged, so I am going to leave it just a touch high, so that way I know that if it leaks down, that plug isn't holding well and I won't be able to use it. But like I said, I do have that spare, so I can do that. Well, hopefully this helps somebody. And if you didn't know how to plug a tire, hopefully you know now. And there's always something going on, something every day. So see you guys. So I told you I would go through this a little bit more with you once I got done. So both of these, this tool is to clean out where the nail actually is, or whatever obstruction is. It's not as great as the one that I have at home. It's an actual T-handle, and it's got screws in, so that way when you twist it, it actually twists in and goes in a lot easier than these. But with the rivets on the side and the knurling, it cuts a hole pretty well. That's the actual insertion tool for the plug. This one actually does pretty well because the hole is big enough that the plug slide in really well, and the gap is big enough that it doesn't take a lot of force to actually pull the plug out. So that way, sometimes when you have these type of plugs, when you're pulling back out to let the plug go, these jaws are so tight that the plug starts to come with it. But like I said, at home, I can show you that one too a little later, but it actually has a place for your hands to put, so that way the plug doesn't come back out. Here's the cement that came with it. This works really well when you have these normal plugs. There's also some radial patches in here. I believe there's 4 in here of those. We've got the cleaner for the plug, one to take out the valve stems if you need to take them out, valve caps, and then the actual stems in here. So there's not a lot to this, but it works really, really well and gets me out of a bind. Oh, and then also it came with a pressure tester. So it's not a fantastic kit, but it's a kit that works really well when you're out in the field and you have a tire that's got a nail or something in it. And then that's the pressure, the air compressor that I used. It's just a real small pressure. It's nothing interesting or nothing too crazy, but it works really, really well. Plugs right into the truck. It'll pump up. I've pumped up wheelbarrow tires with it. I've pumped up mower tires with it. It's gotten me out of a lot of binds, especially like this, when that way I don't have to go home and do all this. I can do it right in the field. It takes half the time. I don't have to run to a gas station to get air. I don't have to pay for that. Once you get this, it's really, really great, and it really, really is convenient. And this tire plug kit I just keep in the box of my trailer, and then this I keep in the box of my truck. So I always have it with me when I use this truck, but it works really, really well. So that's it. I know I kind of signed off on the last one, but if you want to see the other one, leave me a comment and I'll kind of do a review and on that one. But at the end, this is the end of the video. I got to get back to trimming. So see you guys in the next one.